Your plate comes with 12 dippable, dunkable, do-it-any-way-you-wantable sauces. And a plate of our hand-breaded fingers. Oh, and don't forget the napkins. Famous fried chicken, endless sauceabilities. Only at Zaxby's.
Big stories, big views, only from local Sky 3.
Car Care Tips brought to you by Brandon Combs with State Farm, insuring Georgia and Tennessee.
Good morning. Those school bells are about to ring, and we are bringing you a car care tip today, courtesy of Lebron Clark at Mtn View CDJR. And for all you moms and dads out there who are either going to get the kids in the car and head off to the carpool line yourself, or remember the day, sending your first-time driver off to school on their own?
Yes, I remember those well.
You want them to be in tip-top shape in the car. So thanks for letting us come into the service department.
Thanks for coming to visit me.
Okay, you know I always tell you this, that I don't know anything about the vocabulary, so I'll talk to you like a mom this morning. Thinking about my own daughter heading off to school, these are the things that are on my mind. The rainy morning, and I want her windshield wipers to be good. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, you want those. Anytime you bring it in for service, you want to have that inspected, you want to have them check them. And most places will, but make sure that's something you keep up on and have them replaced, because you know, as the weather gets bad and the rain and just even pollen and dirt in some of those, you want to keep those clean so they've got good visibility.
Okay, the other thing I'm going to be thinking about, this would be me driving into work with school zones, or her going into school, are the brakes on her car.
Yes. Again, that's something, you know, have a reliable service person, which hopefully it's here at Mountain View, but you know, check the brakes, make sure the pads, you know, you've got plenty of wear on them. Make sure the rotors aren't glazed, which is when they heat up from a lot of use. You know, that way the car's going to stop efficiently. You
mentioned the service department here. You will see anyone's car. You don't have to have purchased the car from Mountain View. I'm thinking about things like the brakes. If you get that early, if you begin to hear that telltale squeak, you can save yourself a lot of money. If you've got a teenage driver, they don't necessarily know that, so they might not know to tell you, hey, mom or dad, there's a problem.
Yeah, they're not accustomed to it, and it's good to give your kids a little bit of knowledge, to have somebody help them and show them. You know, I work with my son, you know, as far as, you know, how to know when something's not right with your vehicle. If it doesn't feel right, don't drive with the check engine light on.
Right.
You know, if it did something funny, let me know. You know, let somebody know. But like I said, again, the big thing with maintenance with the brakes and things like that is just find you a reputable person that you can take that vehicle to that's going to check everything every time.
I'm looking here at the service department. I mean, you can see behind me all the bays pretty much are filled. Maybe some people are doing the very thing that we're talking about. How often should you have your car serviced?
Each vehicle is different. Normally your oil change is going to be between 3,000 and 5,000 miles. When you bring it in, they're going to do a 127-point inspection. They're going to check your coolants. They're going to check your fluid levels. And there's certain mileage intervals. You're going to do certain things, like, you know, you may do a transmission flush on certain vehicles at 60,000. Some are sealed, which never get it. But you know, you want to go to your owner's manual and look through that and see what's recommended for your car.
Right. Most cars now, I guess, have that automatic light setting on there, right? So that you shouldn't have to have a dead battery.
Yes.
The heat can play havoc on a battery.
Heat can do it, and the cold both. Yeah, it'll actually kill the cells in that, and they can run a battery test for you. Most places won't charge you for it. You bring it in, you hook it up while they're changing the oil, and it'll check to you the power of the battery if there's any bad cells.
I know. I remember when I got my first car as a teenager, and one of the things I got with the car was an emergency kit. You know, everybody wanted their child to have a blanket, and but you should have at least jumper cables in your car.
You should have jumper cables. I actually have, it's crazy, I have one in every one of my cars.
An emergency kit?
Emergency kit. It's got the triangle for reflectors. It's got a blanket, a space blanket. I've got jumper cables, even though they're fairly new cars.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's got a little bit of everything everybody needs.
Well, I bet one of the reasons too you have the jumper cables is because you could help somebody.
Yeah.
Even if your car was fine.
I mean, how many times have you pulled up at Walmart and somebody's got their hood up?
Okay, tell me if this is true or false. If you're looking at a newer car or the model of the car, are some batteries harder to find access to than others?
It is, but normally a dealer can get you what you need if it's that brand vehicle. You know, if it's an older vehicle, you know, the AutoZone can get it for you. You know, they're going to tell you, what amperage battery you need, how much you need for each kind of vehicle.
I know we're going to come back out here leading into Labor Day and talk again about buying a car and kind of what the market is looking like, but we'll say it now too. You are a huge believer in the value of this part of the operation. The prevention is your answer.
Absolutely. I mean, you want, first of all, you're doing the customer a service by making sure their vehicle's right. And you kind of feel good knowing they're out there and they're safe. You know, you don't worry, you know, and we recommend it. I've had people come in, hey, you need brakes, and I say, no, I don't. You know, your heart hurts and you almost want to get on the phone and call and say, look, you really need to do this.
Yeah.
You know?
What about tires? I know we've had this conversation before. What's the penny trick?
The penny trick, the head, it's actually a little more than that. You put Abe Lincoln down. If it reaches his head, it's time to get tires. Most tires now have a little wear bar. It's a little line that goes across them, and when it hits that, it's time to replace your tires.
I'm a literal person, and once upon a time, someone told me that Abe Lincoln penny trick, but it all depends on how you turn the penny. Right?
Yeah, it's the top of the head.
Right. There's a big difference. You'll
Yeah.
throw yourself if you put the penny in straight up.
Yeah.
Because you'll never make the mark.
You'll never make the mark.
Okay, oil changes?
Yeah.
3,000 to 5,000 miles.
3,000 to 5,000. Some vehicles are a little longer. Some brands are a little longer.
Okay.
You know, diesels. You know, a lot of people on average oil change takes about 45 minutes. A diesel's going to take somewhere longer than that. It's going to take an hour, hour and a half.
And is it true back when gas was so high, not this past time, but many years ago, back in like 08 or something, I remember hearing that the faster you go, the more your car uses gas.
Yeah, there's a sweet spot, and that's why they changed the laws to 55. And because of the new emissions levels, they've got it at 75. But yeah, it does make a difference on the way you drive your car. Quick acceleration will burn a lot of fuel. You know, the start and stop. You know how you people go 100 miles an hour. You pull up next to the guy or the girl at the red light, and they take off.
Yeah.
You know, that's burns up quite a bit of fuel.
So for the parents out there who are making your kids pay for their own gas now that they have their car and can drive, encourage them to go that speed limit because it'll save them pocket change in the end.
And it'll save you insurance money too.
It'll save you insurance money too. In terms of making an appointment to have the cars checked out at your service department, just give you a call?
Give us a call. You can go online. You can schedule your appointment. Like I said, we have a pretty flexible schedule. We have Saturday service also. So if a customer has to do it on Saturday, because a lot of us work for a living.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And we're glad that we have a chance to.
Thanks.
You'll find him, Lebron Clark and his team at Mtn View CDJR right down here in Ringgold, Georgia. Just look for the great big American flag. You can't miss them.
Thank you.
Thank you.